Welcome to Tech Blueprint, a window that lets you know the latest technology news in the world. After the Dutch government decisively launched its forced intervention, China swiftly launched unceremonious countermeasures. In just 3 days, from the chip export ban to the official statement, China's actions completely dazzled the Dutch, a textbook example of a lesson in behavior. This international drama surrounding the semiconductor industry is more than a simple economic dispute. It's more like a game of chess, shrouding the turbulent global supply chain and the high-level power dynamics between major powers. Let's first review the dramatic unfolding of this incident. Nexperia Semiconductor, originally an overseas branch of the Chinese company Wingtech Technology, worked quietly and diligently, with no intention of provocation. Yet, at the end of September, the Dutch government, in a dramatic move, directly split the world and forcibly seized actual control of the Chinese company. The suspension of Chinese executives, the transfer of equity to a third-party escrow, and the swift appointment of foreign directors were all seamlessly executed, creating a sense of dominance and instant victory. Like, who else in the Dutch world of robbery is there? They clamor for national security, but haven't even bothered to present evidence, relying instead on the excuse of stable operations, but not enough. Even the Dutch legal system would be outraged by this excuse. Even more infuriating is that this company's core production capacity is in China, and its operations have been flawless, yet they're forcing the label of a security threat onto it. They're pretending to be building a bridge while secretly attacking Chinsong, a financial version of a power grab. Faced with this blatant suppression, China has demonstrated a decisive response. On October 4, China directly announced export restrictions, precisely blocking the core product lines of Nexperia's Chinese factories and severing their business drivers from the route. The complex ecosystem of the global chip industry requires understanding, resources, technology, and production capacity are inextricably linked, like a pot of half-cooked noodles. How can you eat without a bowl? By cutting off exports, the Netherlands has resorted to a ridiculous tactic of severing its own right hand. At the same time, the China Semiconductor Industry Association also spoke out, its discontent etched in its words like a cold autumn rain, dashing down on the Netherlands' cleverness. The association accurately pointed out that the Netherlands' actions not only undermine market fairness but also damage the rules of the game in the global chip economy. Simply put, this action is like someone in a neighborhood dismantling a shared washing machine and then happily claiming, "This is for safety," a sheer act of self-deception. This has further exposed the differences between the European and American tech communities. France and Germany, traditionally focused on practical interests, insist on a non-confrontational approach, while the Netherlands' aggressive actions seem more like a forced backup. But a gentleman seeks wealth in a proper way. Directly using legal means to punish Chinese companies is both ungracious and sows a huge seed of distrust within the EU. However, China's counterattack was clearly superior. Its swift, precise, and decisive stance, coupled with its grasp of the efficiency of the global semiconductor supply chain, clearly conveyed the message that China is not afraid of a fight, but will not easily provoke a major conflict. Export restrictions are just the starter, and the likelihood of further expansion is growing, not just limited to chips, but also to certain raw materials on which the world is highly dependent. Let the EU ask itself, if China were to strike back, could its high-tech industry withstand it? It's clear that this time, China isn't just showing its sharp claws, it's also concealing a soft yet firm strategy. Behind its solemn protests, China's expressed sincerity in offering further talks suggests there may be a chance for easing the tension, but the prerequisite is that Europe must calmly examine its own situation. Will it follow the US's cudgel into the abyss, or persist in pursuing a win-win situation and prioritizing market interests? Ultimately, the Nexperia controversy, deeper than the chips themselves, reveals the undercurrents of great power competition. From technological blockades to industrial chain interference, Western countries have turned technological competition into a byword for total closure. China's stance is becoming increasingly clear. Rules can be negotiated, but bottom lines cannot be crossed. If a group of people naively believe they can force the disadvantaged to remain silent, then the world is truly unruly. The question now becomes, how can this complex game of international technological competition be resolved? The answer may be simple: cooperation must be sincere, and negotiation must be measured. And will those who frequently resort to legal means to disrupt the industrial chain truly be tolerated by the market?